The Bostonian is Matt Perrault.
This is our city.
The Book is Dave Sherapan.
Pay him. Pay that man his money.
Together, they are The Bostonian versus The Book.
You covered! You covered 12! I covered!
Follow the show on Twitter at Boston versus The Book.
How do you like their match?
Bringing you the best insight on sports betting news, Matt and Dave's daily picks, and an entertaining and unfiltered dive into the sports betting industry. Here's Dave Sherapan and Matt Perrault.
And here we go.
Primetime Thursday, boys and girls. How are you? Welcome into another episode of the Bostonian versus the Book. He is Dave Sherapan. I am Matt Perrault. Dave's in Vegas. I'm in New Hampshire for today. Back in Vegas tomorrow for a roll call Friday. We've got Joe Brennan coming on from Prime Sportsbook. You guys who are in New Jersey and Ohio and all those surrounding states, we'll tell you about what's going on with Prime. We'll talk about the sports betting industry and other things. Thursday night, big night for you New Jersey, New York people with the Giants hosting the Cowboys. We are live on our YouTube channel and on X Twitter at Boston versus the Book, replayed on Sports Grid TV and on SiriusXM channel 159 on Sports Grid. You'll see Dave pregame show, right? Tonight, Dave, for you guys?
Tonight? Yeah.
Thursday?
1 hour before the game. Yes.
Very
so
cool.
That's 7 to 8 Eastern, 4 to 5 Pacific. Yes.
I got to say, I always think of you because, like, normally I know you're on the air our time from 5 until 7 normally with you, Wetzel, when we used to do Friday nights. It was 5 to 7.
Yep.
And so, like, 8 o'clock rolls around and I'm like, Dave's on the air now. Like, this is crazy.
Right.
It's
Yes.
very different.
Yes.
For a primetime East Coast 8 to 10 show when I'm out in the East Coast. It's like, oh, wow. Yeah, Dave's on the air now because normally you're at 7 o'clock and you have your night free to go do stuff. It's wild.
Yes, it is. Are you used to the East Coast time zone? You want to go back?
You want to go back? No, no. No. I mean, I love being here. I love, obviously, being with Amanda and being on the East Coast, my family and whatnot. Like, it's home. But work-wise, it sucks. And I mean, it sucks to do what we do and live on the East Coast. I mean, I was at dinner last night, and so we went to this. My sister's getting married, so, like, I have to go find all these different things. So I ate dinner with my sister and my mom on Monday night. And so she told us about the hotel that they're securing and how they want to do these different things. And I was like, look, at the brothers, us, we're going to take care of the brunch after the wedding, like that morning before everyone leaves, like the send-off brunch, we're going to pay for it. We've got it. And so the hotel, we went to go have dinner at the hotel last night. So it was 6:30. And I'm like, okay. I'm looking around. I'm like, it's 6:30. The Thursday night game would not even kicked off yet.
No.
Like, we already would have been at halftime, basically, for the football game. Yeah. But it's 6:30, and we're not even close to kickoff coming up here for tonight on Thursday night, Monday night, Sunday night. I feel for you guys. I understand why you'd be frustrated if I was a sports fan going, I love watching sports. I don't know how I would bet West Coast sports. I know why East Coast people don't pay attention. I wouldn't bet it either. It's brutal. I get why Shohei doesn't get talked about a lot because it's brutal. It is out of sight, out of mind, different planet. 3-hour difference at 10 o'clock at night is such a massive difference. It's not so bad in the middle of the day, but at 10 p.m. East Coast time, 7 p.m. West Coast time, gigantic difference.
Missed a good baseball game again last night with the Dodgers and the Padres. It was an excellent game.
And go to bed. That's true, JPC. That's very true. I know guys who do it, but I like to, somehow stay around with it a little bit. And, I like to watch at least what the bet's doing. I don't have to watch the game per se, but I like to kind of be around it and just to see what's going on. And I like to recap my stuff at the end of the day. Like, okay, what did I do? And, up, down, I like to do that. So I can't do that. When I'm on the East Coast, I got to go to bed. So
go to bed and you wake up and you see if you won or lost. Wake up winners. AOWN just said makes perfect sense.
Or losers, like triple play losers. Like I woke up to on whatever day that was, Wednesday morning, Tuesday morning, whatever day that was, and I woke up. So I went to bed last night and I woke up to the Lynx covering. So that was fun. I was like, okay, Lynx covered. That's good. But no, I am not a fan of the time zone for sports, but I love, obviously it's home and it's fun to be here. There's a lot of excitement for the Bruins. I was at a rink yesterday. You see a lot of people starting to get really jacked up and excited for NHL hockey, and the air is starting to get crisp, and the leaves are turning here in New Hampshire.
Did you go pick the apples? Everybody
Did not.
wants to
Nope.
know.
We
Okay,
didn't
no
do that.
apple
So instead,
picking.
I went and saw a back specialist. So instead of doing that,
Okay,
I went and got in
That's
to
good.
see a doctor. So I'm on steroids. So he put me on this 8-day steroid regimen. So
Mhm.
I've already taken the first 2. He told me that day 1, he goes, "You're going to feel like you want to go lift a truck." He's like, "Just FYI, you're going to be all jacked up." I was like, "Well, I'm getting on a plane." He's like, "Yeah, try to don't drink on it, but try to keep yourself tempered down because you're going to want to go run like a marathon. You're going to have so much energy." So
Yeah.
I can agree with him. I feel like I'm on 8 cups of coffee right now.
Oh,
So
should probably take it after you get on the
no,
plane.
I have to take it 2 times at breakfast, after lunch, after dinner, and then 2 pills before I go to bed.
Oh, okay.
5
Great.
pills the first day. It goes 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. It weans you down,
Right.
and it's supposed to stop all the inflammation in your body, in particular in my back. So
Great.
will it happen? I don't know, but I don't have any structural damage. I need an MRI, but I don't have a cracked spine or a broken vertebrae, or my spine's not out of alignment or something like that. So structurally, I'm okay. And he's like, "This sounds like it's soft tissue, so let's calm it all down. Let's start a steroid regimen." I'm like, okay. So we got that yesterday.
Are you watching any day baseball today?
No.
Not
What's
at all.
what's baseball? I don't know what baseball.
It's the last game ever at the Oakland Coliseum today. Day game. That's why I'm wearing the A's stuff.
Did you see what the A's employee did?
Yeah.
We'll get to it later in the rundown. It's tremendous. Joe Brennan Jr. joins us later on in the show here in about 10 minutes. We'll talk to him what's going on with Prime and Prime Sports. As I said, New Jersey's got a big game tonight, so a big night for Prime Sports. If you guys are in the region looking for a -108 number on the Giants and the Cowboys, Joe will come in here and tell you about what they're offering for that. But let's talk about what happened last night, mentioning baseball. Aaron Judge hits his 57th home run last night. He has 142 RBIs. He is the first player since 2009 to drive in over 140 runs in a season. Does it make it more significant to you, given the lack of offense in Major League Baseball this season, to see one player with 142 RBIs?
Does it make it what? More
significant, more impactful, impressive?
It's impressive either way.
Okay.
I don't think it makes it more impressive. I just think it makes it like he's so far and above everybody else, and the Yankees completely have to rely on him to actually
do everything,
knock in
right?
the runs. Like
everything.
He is, the Dodgers, believe it or not, could survive without Shohei for a week. The Yankees could not. There's no
Mookie or Freeman or someone could carry that offense for a couple of days until Ohtani comes back.
Yeah.
But without him, Soto gets exposed. You pitch around Soto, and then there's no offense.
Yeah. So
for the Yankees, that's it.
Yeah. It's again, we start to look at the numbers as they come to summation this week. The pennant races, excellent. The playoff spots, finding positions, and all that other stuff. But then you really start to take stock and notice of a year like that. I mean, who's next? I didn't even look. Who's next in RBIs?
Who's next in RBIs? I don't know. Ramirez?
I don't know.
Let me
Put it
see.
in the chat, boys.
RBIs for let's see, for Major League Baseball RBIs, that is National League. Let's do
what's the leader in the National League?
Shohei with 125.
Okay, so 125.
Jose Ramirez 115.
So he has 32 more RBIs.
Yep. Doesn't make a lot of sense, does it?
No, makes no sense.
I mean,
none of it does.
I mean, I'm going to be really curious to see what happens here in the next couple of weeks. Like, Yankee fans are expecting their team to be, turn it on. They're expecting them to actually have some type of postseason bounce. But if they get in the playoffs and they score 1 or 2 runs a game and they lose quickly, is that Aaron Boone's fault?
Yankee fans would think so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's his fault?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things where, like, I don't know if I blame Aaron Judge or if I blame Aaron Boone for that. Blame the front office. I blame Brian Cashman more than I blame Aaron Judge.
For some reason, they don't get the blame upstairs. But I mean, those guys are in lockstep and
right.
stuff.
They're tied at the hip. True.
Yeah.
Very true. Tied at the hip. We have, I don't know if this will be our last one, but one of our last ones, at least in the regular season for us with Ohtani Watch. All right, for Ohtani, we know the home run ball, number 50, is on eBay, going up at auction. The starting bid is going to be $500,000, or you can buy it all right now for $4.5 million. Is he getting $4.5 million for that ball?
No.
Is he getting even $500,000 for that ball?
Some straw buyer, yes.
The Dodgers offered him $300,000 for it. He said no.
Right.
Dodgers, for the first time ever, the Dodgers went and offered a cash offer for a piece of memorabilia. And maybe it was Shohei say, I'll give him $300,000 for it. And the guy said no. Yes, eBay, Jimmy Jack. It's on eBay. You're right. Yes. What is it, 2008? It's an eBay auction. That's where it is. The ball's on eBay.
Wow.
It's weird, but it is.
Haven't seen Jimmy Jack's avatar in a while. Still makes me laugh when I pull up Jimmy Jack with 4K. It's good to see you in here, Jimmy. So what do you think? What do you think the number is? He gets $1 million?
Remember when Barry Bonds? Who was the guy, the comic book guy that bought Barry Bonds' balls?
Oh,
sorry, pause. But bought all of them. who was that
baseballs?
Guy? Baseballs.
Bought Barry Bonds' baseballs.
He bought like 5 of them, right? Like he is like he was obsessed with his home run balls, and he's bought them all.
Yeah,
I forget. Someone in the chat, tell me who's the guy that the comic book guy?
Yeah,
Seth MacFarlane. That's who did it.
I think it was.
Was it really
MacFarlane? Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize he was that obsessed with. I thought it was somebody else. Okay, so he bought it. So I'm assuming that somebody of that type of ilk, who has empty, unlimited pockets,
right?
They'll just come in and go, "I want it. I'm a baseball nut. Give me, whatever."
Todd McFarlane. Yep.
Okay, not Seth MacFarlane. No, Todd McFarlane. Thank you. Okay, I knew it was like Seth MacFarlane. I was like, really? That guy, Todd McFarlane. Okay, yeah. I'll be very curious to see what the price is, but hold everything because, as always, there are lawyers. A fan has issued suit this morning to stop the auction. The fan says he caught it first and was a victim of assault by the actual person that got the ball. Suing to make eBay pull that down and not sell the ball.
The kid that didn't get the ball?
The 18-year-old kid. The 18-year-old kid. I don't know if it was the kid who dropped it, but there's an 18-year-old kid who is suing eBay, telling them to stop the auction because he's a victim of assault.
One has nothing to do with the other, does it?
Well, according to the lawsuit, requests that the ball or any cash proceeds from the sale be held by a third party until ownership of the ball has been deemed by the court. The complaint is filed saying the lawsuit from a man who emerged with the ball, and that Kelvin Ramirez, an 18-year-old, let me read the whole thing. An 18-year-old baseball fan is suing collectible marketplace Golden for ownership rights to the Los Angeles Dodgers Shohei Ohtani 50th home run ball. Attorneys for Max Mattis, who says he grabbed the ball before it was, quote, taken away from him as a result of civil battery, filed a lawsuit in Dade County, Florida, seeking to stop the sale of the collectible. The sale is set to open for bidding on Friday, tomorrow, on eBay with an opening bid of $500,000. Bidders will be able to purchase the ball outright for $4.5 million. So, according to the lawsuit, basically, this was a place where the ball bounced off the table and it went under, and I grabbed it, according to Mattis, telling Darren Rovell. Then the other guy had my hand between his legs, holding my arm, and took the ball from my hand. According to the complaint, attorneys for Mattis claimed that he was, quote, able to firmly grab the ball, in his left hand, successfully obtaining possession before the man who came away with the ball, wrapped his legs around Max's arm and used his hands to wrangle the ball out of Max's hands, thus stealing the ball for himself.
Sounds like quite the struggle playing with each other's balls. I mean, that is a fight for the ball right there.
I'm sorry,
like,
but good luck trying to prove that you had possession, because this is, you know what this feels like? This feels like the NFL when what is the catch? Because what does possession, when does possession begin? Does possession begin from you firmly grasping and that means it's mine? Or does it mean it's yours when you actually can take it from said ballpark out to the parking lot and thus it's your possession?
One of our news hound here, BVB news hound CBW, in the chat just came in and said, was it a catch? Where's the challenge flag? LOL.
Did he complete the process?
Did he complete the process? Good work, CBW. I was thinking the same thing.
Billable hours will always win.
Billable
and I agree.
hours
How are you going to prove that? Like, so there's a lot of video. I thought the same thing. Like, good luck proving this. There's a lot of video out there, different angles and whatnot. So I'm assuming the kid thinks that there's like some type of video evidence that he had the ball. But even if it did go down this way, I don't think this means the kid had possessions. Do you?
No.
I mean, so if I grab the ball and you take it out of my hand, like, does that mean you stole the ball from me? Does that mean I had possession of the Shohei 50th home run ball myself first, and you took the ball out of my hand? You stole it from me? Or it's just like the ball is being knocked around and then like I grabbed it, you stole it from me. It's in the course of the general scrum to get the ball.
In my next iteration, I might go back to law school and be a lawyer because I'm going to have to, somebody has to tell this kid that if you paid this person ahead of time, you got robbed, because there's no case. This is absurd.
You think it's absurd? So let me ask you this. Okay. So this is what I was thinking in my head. I'm walking down the street. I have a ball of some value in my hand.
You're holding your balls in your hand?
No, not my balls. A ball. One ball.
Oh,
I have a ball.
Single ball?
I'm holding a single ball. Not my balls. I'm holding a single ball. A baseball in my hand. And you come and jiu-jitsu tackle me. And you hold my arm out, and I got the ball in my hand, and you take the ball away, and then you run away.
And sell it?
Did you steal the ball? Is that stealing? If I had the possession, and you tackled me, and took the ball out of my hands, I had it, it was mine, and you took it. Is that considered stealing?
I mean, that might be, but that's not what happened here.
It did in the context of how the ball was then possessed by the man who left the park with it. So he's going to argue, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but he's going to argue that if I have possession and you, just like if I was walking down the street, you took it away from me, thus you stole it from me. There's no way to prove this. This kid is never going to win this case. This is a complete sham in terms of how it's going to go down. But it's up for auction on eBay starting tomorrow for $500,000, or someone can go in $4.5 million, buy it outright. And some Hollywood person may just go ahead and write a check and say, I want it.
Right. He should have held on to the ball.
For dear life, right?
Or he should have followed the guy out and said, look, I had the ball. Can I get 10%? You know, otherwise I'm going to chase you down, file a lawsuit, all this other stuff. And he said, oh, go ahead. I don't know. I mean, there had to be a better way to do this than file a lawsuit.
The ground can't cause the fumble.
Ground cannot cause the fumble, CBW. Good job.
So we'll see. I mean, it's up for auction starting tomorrow on eBay. 500K or 4.5 million for the Shohei ball. Again, the Dodgers offered the guy 300,000. He said no. Would you have said yes just to make sure Shohei got it? 300, because remember, the Dodgers screwed the last person that had a home run ball for Shohei.
Right.
They gave him like 2 bats and a T-shirt and a pair of tickets. And everybody was like, this is a joke, Dodgers. Like, give the guy something better. And then they all went back and they upped it and gave him something else that was better, a suite or something for a game. I don't know. If I was offered 300,000, I may have just given it. That's a lot of money. Just, you know,
I don't know. Yesterday you said 100,000 wasn't a lot of money.
I mean, all relative, right? But 300,000. So if I get 500,000, sure, I want more money. But if I am a baseball fan, I'm a Dodger fan, and it happened in Miami, so maybe I'm not.
Forget the fan part.
Okay, it's $300,000.
It's going to change your life. Get as much money as you can for it.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I guess so. I mean, that's fair. I don't know though. Like I would want
If
the
you'd have
Dodgers.
got him, if you took 300,000 and this guy sells it for $1 million, you go, I could have had 2.5 times what I just sold it for. I mean, you get it tax free.
It's not. No, it's not tax free. Who's your lawyer? I mean, who's your attorney or accountant? Oh, eBay takes 13% of that. Woo, that's a cut. That's a haircut right there.
Again,
My goodness.
Everybody has to do what the best decision for them.
13%. High.
I'd have held on to my balls with both hands. I'd have grabbed them tight. I'd have got Joe Brennan involved. It said, Joe, get us out of this joint.
Your balls are your own, Dave. I don't do assistance with other people's balls. I'm waiting in the back office of the studio. I hear like Matt's walking down the street like he's Lance Armstrong with one ball.
Right.
He gets tackled by somebody.
By Dave.
That gets tackled by Dave. Dave, one ball away.
Have you ever caught a home run ball, Joe, or a foul ball at a baseball game?
No, God, no. And I used to sit there in the vet with my baseball glove, right? Thinking like, oh yeah, I'll be able to catch something. I'll get something. I was all the way up in the 700 level with my father. Right?
Ouch.
The only guy who ever reached that level was Willie Stargell. Right. And they painted the spot where he hit it. And it's a good thing he hit that stairway because it probably would have knocked a couple of satellites out of orbit. Willie hit that thing so damn hard.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would have been interesting if Shohei had dumped that thing over the fence in Philly.
Right?
Whoa.
Oh my. Or like anywhere, like New York, Philly, Boston, like anywhere people would have been like fighting with each other. Oh boy,
right.
Yeah. He dumped it into a suite in Miami. Like a little bit of
Miami. It's sweet in Miami.
Right?
Does it get any bougier than that?
Half the guys weren't even watching the game.
Yeah,
They all had their backs turned.
Yeah, they're probably all doing Cuervo shots, and you're like, oh, that's right, we're at a baseball game.
Right? No, they all had their backs. They weren't even watching the at bat. They weren't even watching the game. We had the picture of it.
The sad part about it is he did it in a town. It's not really a baseball town.
No,
it's barely a sports town.
Woo!
I'm sure I'm angering all sorts of
people. You are, but it's okay. I do it all the time. So
I mean, come on, guys. Anyway, how you guys doing?
I'm great. Are you ready for the playoffs for baseball before we get to football and what's going on with Prime and everything? Are you ready for the playoffs?
I am. Yeah. I mean, I've got a knot in my stomach. I was losing more hair this morning when I was standing at the sink and everything like that. When my wife asked me a question, I'm responding like I'm already agitated. So yeah, I'm totally ready for the
Is this the year, Joe? Like for the Phillies? I know you don't want to say it, and I know Philly fans don't want to say it, but like, Joe, it's setting up. Like
yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, they played pretty uneven here down the last 2 months, I mean, they went up to New York and they lost 2 or 3 to the Mets, which really angers me. They came home and they lost a hangover game to the Cubbies, which, okay, I mean, who amongst us has not tried to play ball with a hangover and found it hard? But they did wake up last night. Hopefully, Taiwan Walker is not going to be on the postseason roster.
I don't think he touches the field.
I feel bad for that guy. I really do. Because they keep marching him out there. The guy's got to go back and find himself somewhere. He didn't show up he was playing really good baseball for us earlier in the year. And then, get the yips.
How fast, right?
Lose it like that. But it's great. Like you're on Twitter or you hear guys and like guys who are like 300 pounds that they're announcing the most athletic thing they did was like, I was a JV football back in the day. And they won't walk or shit, that guy, what a doy. Thompson ought to be fired for putting him on the mound. Yeah, let's fire the guy who's gotten his postseason.
Right.
3 seasons in a row.
Right.
Ridiculous.
What anyway for tonight for you guys? You have a game in your backyard for Prime. Giants, Cowboys. This is always a pretty heavily bet game, regardless. But will it be more active for you guys in Jersey, given the fact that it's Cowboys coming to town?
I mean, yeah, it will be. I mean, one of the things that we need to do right now is that every sharp guy on the planet found us the day we opened our doors, right? And what we need to do, though, is we need to start getting more of the Joes, to balance out the pros that we got. We love the pros. We like the Joes just as much. And so, your hope when you got Dallas in a game like this is that you're going to see a lot of Joe action because they're such a public team, right? But we have been in just the ridiculous position of so many times in the beginning of this NFL season of it's weird. We're the bookmaker and we need the favorite and the over. When does that happen?
Yep.
Wow.
So 2 weeks ago when everybody in Vegas was celebrating woo, this is a bloodbath for the public. It's the best weekend we've had in years. We're like, oh Jesus, it was tough.
Right.
And then, last weekend, it's different. We're like, well, it was actually pretty good. So, but the number of times we've needed KC in the over already, that's been laughable. So that's my hope is that because, prime time, New York, Dallas, the Cowboys, ultimate, NFL public team that will be, we'll see a little more of that action now start to come in off the street.
How has the college action been for you versus the pro action? Because we love college football here on the show.
Yeah,
we talk about it, and Saturdays there's way more games. Sunday is still Sunday. And I try to tell people all the time, the college momentum is real and the college handle is real. Now you got all the assassins lying in the weeds and waiting and they're betting you, the Appalachian State game and all this.
It's funny you mentioned Appalachian State.
Very different, right? What? Go ahead.
No, it's stuff like that. It's when you get guys who are because I get hit up because I'm the public pretty face of Prime Sports. Right?
It looks great too, by the way.
Thank you. I appreciate that. So I get guys if they don't see something up there right away, hey, is the where's that Birmingham Teachers College against Columbia Community College matchup? And anybody asking about that game, you're like, oh God, I don't even want to see what they're going to get down on that game.
I know.
Right. But no, college Saturdays, it's been a tough affair for us. Simply because, we get guys going deep down the roster. It's not I'm sure the other guys cross town, they're probably taking the top 20, you take the top 20 teams, they're probably taking 80% of their action on that. Whereas for us, you can see it heads more down roster where, those lower tier and mid tier, the mid-major teams, they really do see an awful lot of action from these guys, particularly from our Ohio crowd.
Yep.
It's interesting, and I don't know if you got into this last week with Adam, but right now it's interesting. We have many days where New Jersey's a win for us and Ohio is a loss.
Yeah,
because there's a couple of sharp outfits that are at working out there based out of Ohio, and they really do a great job. And it's Robin Vinny to pay Abner now.
Yep.
out there in Ohio. So
you get San Diego State is playing Central Michigan this week, and you guys will probably have a need in that game that will look very different than almost any book operating in the United States, right?
Although I wouldn't be surprised if we see more two-sided action on that game, because that's the other thing. When you do get down roster a bit, right? Except for the ones that are real laughers, right? Yeah. It is interesting to see that even the sharp guys, because it's all happening on spread. Nobody's going down roster and betting money lines.
Nope.
Right. So they'll bet totals, they'll bet first halves, but they're mainly betting spreads on those games because those guys they don't have an infinite amount of bandwidth either for doing these things. But we will get two-sided action on a matchup like that, or on a Mountain West game, or on a Mid-American Conference game. It's when Temple, so Temple plays Army this
tonight.
Tonight actually. So a game like that, that one, it's down schedule. Two lower ranked teams are not doing particularly well right now. Look at this. And then being Philly area, I'm expecting the Temple alumni to please show up.
Oh boy, you sound like you're begging people to bet Temple at this point. That's the problem with this thing. You're like, please,
Not to
come on in
send
and bet
signals out
Temple.
there, but
Yeah.
anybody wants to show
Anyone
up
who
for the
wants to
Owls.
bet Temple, go to New Jersey or to Ohio. Bet it with Prime.
Got it, exactly.
Another reason I wanted to ask about the college was we talked about it yesterday. It was a huge deal with UNLV and the kids getting up and leaving.
Two kids now, right?
Yeah, that running back was nothing. He didn't leave for NIL. He left because he's a fourth string back and he's mad about not getting carries. So
right,
that's
it's
typical.
just the look.
Right.
Yeah,
something like that. It's like contagion sets in.
But I tried to keep the conversation as much as I could about the number and being in the book and what kind of impact did that have with you? Because I was looking at a bunch of different places. It went up to 3, UNLV -3. And then as soon as that was announced, it went to pick, and now it's inching back up.
Yeah.
So
I haven't looked at the number yet today, but of course it's like that something like that is ripe for overreaction.
Yep, agreed.
If you have a lot of Joes, but like I said, we've got a lot of pros, and so those guys are always a little more circumspect when they see a lot of they know what the replacement value is.
Right.
And it's not like we're talking about the starting quarterback at, I don't know, Alabama or USC or something like that. I mean, no, not to cast
besmirching UNLV, Joe? Right?
I was just about to say not to cast aspersions on UNLV.
Still Mountain West football.
But
still Mountain West football.
They're because I spent the weekend with a couple of alums from Nevada Reno. They're no Nevada Reno, right?
UNR as they call them at UNLV. It's their UNLV and their UNR.
Yeah.
It's not Nevada up there. It's UNR. Joe, I want to ask you something because I think some people know your background, some people don't, but some people don't know how you lobbied Chris Christie to get him involved with the federal government to go. And eventually you were on the forefront of this entire thing becoming legalized across the country. You were on ground zero for how we have legalized sports betting in America. I was on my radio show, right after PASPA passed. I was talking to Sarah Slane, who at the time was the head of the American Gaming Association. And she said that a mature U.S. sports betting market was going to be $3 billion. I got phone calls from people after that radio show saying, did she say billion? Like 3 billion? Well, yesterday, FanDuel held an investor call, and the folks from FanDuel said a mature U.S. sports betting market will be $63 billion.
Yeah.
What's the real number? Like what is real? Because both feel to be one way too high, one way too low. Is it somewhere in the middle as to what the reality is going to be of a real mature U.S. sports betting market?
I mean, what are we talking about with mature sports betting? Yeah, first of all, wasn't the U.S. sports betting market mature before PASPA was overturned?
Great question.
It just wasn't legal. And the reason why I say that is, and I know some of us on this call are old enough to remember the Clinton administration.
Yes.
But towards the end of the Clinton administration, there was this thing done. It was called the National Gambling Impact Study for all you wonky political types out there.
Okay.
And in it, one of the things that they did is that they estimated what the size of the sports betting market was in the United States at a time when the only place you could bet legally was Nevada, right? And they said at the time, they estimated that the total size of the U.S. sports betting market was somewhere between $300 and $500 billion a year. Okay. And that's everybody from like Vinny down the corner to the offshore guys to Vegas, all that stuff. And so when I hear these numbers, it's funny. That always sticks in my mind. Now, I think that was probably an overcount. The FBI, they like their drama. But I would have said, I would have said 300 billion on the high side. Just based on I mean, look, we all grew up with this stuff,
right?
We see how common it is, and I think that's the thing that people still don't really get is how much money is still not found its way into the regulated marketplace. Not only because states like Texas and California haven't legalized yet, but and we've talked before, and I know you guys talk about it a lot, things like, limiting players and things like that. It's not only players who come in and they get driven out. There's players, how much money never even tries to get into the regulated U.S. marketplace. So it's really tough to kind of pin this down. When Sarah made that estimate, You know, geez, I mean, it wouldn't have been worth legalizing if it was only 3 billion.
Right? That's exactly that. I mean, that number is low. There's no way to quantify the number, and they're almost doing a disservice to actually anyone in the business with throwing out numbers. Like I used to sit in the book and here in Nevada and go, they have no idea what they're even. I don't even know how they come up with the number.
Yeah.
But there was another number reported in a story yesterday, and I saw on that call, they're saying that their business is 70% parlays to straight bet ratio.
Right.
Joe.
Oh my God.
You can I mean, like, if that's a real number, which it's probably more than that. But like, I don't care. Ray Charles could book the games
hey,
right now.
What are we saying about Ray here, man?
I love Ray. All right, but Ray's been gone a long time and he couldn't see. 70%.
Right. You know, it's funny,
you
like right
should
before
never limit anyone.
Right before I came on, I was looking at, of course, sports betting Twitter, which is what 20 of the 24 hours of my day, right?
Yeah.
And Ed Miller, who we all know, brilliant guy.
Yeah.
He had pointed out that, you know, FanDuel, during their talk and their announcement yesterday, they're like, oh, we just want to point out that we still continue to have, you know, the best pricing and risk management in the industry. Right. And he kind of got a laugh out at that. They always feel the need to say that, and nobody really pays attention or cares. But when you see that, like 70% of our NBA and our NFL handles and parlays, who gives a shit about risk management? There is no risk management.
There is none.
Right?
You don't have to do anything except show up and make sure the plug is in the wall.
Yeah. Now, here's the thing. We all know that the pros don't really bet parlays.
Right.
Not frequently. Every once in a while, they'll be like, hey, I'm going to let my hair down today. And I'll do a, you know, or they'll do some round robins or something like that.
Keep their account alive.
Right. They'll do it, which that alone, like, hey, all right, I got to find a way to purposely lose money so my account doesn't get closed. God, what a life, right?
Yeah.
But, and one guy even said, like, it's going to get to the point, one of our guys said, it's going to get to the point where if you just make, you know, a single wager, it's like waving the red flag. I'm a sharp bettor, you know, and they'll just, we don't take your kind around here, dude. Get the hell out of here. You either do like a 5-pick to 10-pick parlay, or you take it down the street.
Right. Can you imagine running a parlay book only? You have to do a 3-game parlay minimum, like the lotteries do up in Canada.
Yeah. I mean, certainly would be a nice, but it makes you wonder, like, well, if that's the case, why are they only holding, what is it, 15%?
They should be holding at least 20.
Right? They should be like the lottery. They're like, all right, well, we're going to hold on to 40% of this revenue, and we'll chip off a little bit for the rest of you for marketing purposes. But you know, whatever. But here's the thing, like, FanDuel is really Paddy Power, right?
Right.
And I mean, I respect the hell out of those guys, that brand. It takes a lot for an Irish company to go into Britain and become the #1 company, right? Yeah. Some cultural, historical animosity between those two nations.
Some history there.
Like, so,
yeah.
So, and one of the things that they have been very good at in every country they've gone to, Italy, they were the leading sports betting company in Italy because of their parlay products. Although over there, they've got to complicate it and they call them accumulators.
Cumulative betting, yeah.
God,
Maltese.
Anyway. Yeah.
Maltese.
I mean, and the great one about that is it's like they invented parlay betting in the Roman Empire. So it was like the Irish guys were coming and selling the product back to the Italian guys. It's like, what are they going to do? We're going to have like patty pizza? They're going to sell that back to them as well? So, but I mean, those guys, Paddy Power, unabashed recreational sports book, not intended for pros, you know, so good for them. And that's the reason why FanDuel is just utterly killing DraftKings in this regard, is that they've got that DNA. Those guys they're an actual global betting company, whereas DraftKings has been many things.
Yes. Well, the other thing that came out of the call, Joe, was interesting that I found to be kind of stunning. They claim that since they've open sports betting that FanDuel has spent $10 billion in free wagers and free money giveaways and marketing. $10 billion.
Yeah.
That number seems absurd. No?
Well, it wasn't their money, right?
Well, it's
they
made up
spent
money
it,
though.
but it wasn't.
But the free bets are just, you just make it. It's fugazi. It doesn't exist. You're just conjuring it up.
Remember, they're made up, but not for the state. Most of the states are like, well, we don't differentiate between Disney dollars and real dollars, right?
Right.
Those are dollars. So if you're handing out and this is one of the things that we're really careful about, and this is why we haven't come out fire hosing bonus money all over the places. If we give a guy $100 as a bonus and he bets that $100, there's no way we can win $100 bonus bet, right? He could lose the whole lot to us, but we're paying 20% tax on it in Ohio. We're paying 17.5% on it in New Jersey. All right. So we pay the tax liability on all that. Now they've used those bonus dollars. You can make an argument that they've used those bonus dollars to basically inflate their revenue numbers. Yeah. Okay. If you subtracted that money out, and particularly because you have to roll it over, like even if you win, you got to bet it again like 5 times before you can withdraw it. So I mean, talk about a great way of being able to puff up those numbers. Yeah. If you remove that from the system, what does their performance look like then? That's a really good question. One that I would expect, people would be asking on Wall Street, but everybody just talks about handle when it comes to talking about the U.S. market,
which is the most not fictitious number, but it matters, but it doesn't matter. You got to pay the taxes on it as an operator and all that other stuff. But I don't need to know the handle. I need to know, do you, 1, book the games, 2, do you win? And if you do, you got a viable business, and I want to back it. And that's why, Adam came on here last week and he killed it.
He was a rock star. I'm surprised he just let me come back.
It was great. But he said, I asked him specifically about this model. And I said, when I asked him, and I said, people say you can't use this model and you can't do it. And he was like, well, the people might be right. It was such a good answer. But how much is there that internal struggle to know what you're doing and you believe in what you're doing, and then you see these things and you're on the Twitter like the rest of us going, man, what do we got to do? We want to take the bets. We're going to book the games and we're going to get on the right sides more often than we're not, which means we're going to make money. But is it discouraging when you see all this crap?
We knew it was going to be like this, okay? Because we knew we weren't going to come out and be like everybody else and fire hose a lot of promotions out there and all. So when Adam says, this is like a 5-year window for us, that's because that's how we've played it out. If we can show that we can battle the assassins to a stalemate and even have a slight win. If there were a couple of months, I think maybe our house win was in Ohio was $25,000.
Right.
Okay.
And we were like, let's throw a fucking parade, man. Because those aforementioned, betting syndicates that operate out of we beat those guys this month. I don't care if it was a single goddamn dollar. Right. I'd go in front of their goddamn clubhouse, hold that dollar up and be like, yeah. So we just knew that this is the way it was going to be. And, we do have to start pressing the accelerator and get the market, marketing to Joe's to market. Yep. But we got to give them a reason to bet with us. Okay. Why would somebody bet with us over, Fan Kings or something like that? And we have to make more of a virtue out of, for us, it's reduced juice betting. Right. So bet for less, make the same bet on Dallas to beat the Giants tonight for 20% less. Right. Now that's not an instant winner. People, I think with legalization, people realized that sports betting is a little more complex than picking one team over another team. You know, the pricing, odds, you know, how those are individual levers and how they function, everything like that. You know, there's a lot of people who are still catching up to that. You know, that's just the way it is. But it's something that if you don't start consistently beating the drum for it now, then it's not going to ever do that. So, and the thing that I have confidence in is you can't name another market where people don't compete on price, like whether it's the airlines or retail, or there's a reason why Southwest and Walmart and Costco and Amazon and places like that became these huge companies. And it was because they were going for best price. And so that's what we're going to do. So it's not only do we got to roll out the marketing to the Joes, we got to get our feed finally out so that we're on screen with Spank Odds and Don Best and everybody. You know, right now we're just basically we're kind of picking and choosing who we're allowing to screen scrape us, scrape our odds, and you know, and we're going that way. But there's ways that we can do it. There's ways that we can organically get more volume in there. That's going to be easy. You know, it's going to give us more balance. That's really what we need. We need more of the Joes to balance out the pros, but we got to give the Joes a reason to come besides this Joe, right? So,
who do you like tonight? Cowboys, Giants.
God, that's like asking me a cultural question, guys. I'm a Philly fan,
right?
Hate them both.
You know what? I don't hate the Giants. I feel bad for the Giants. They're just having such a miserable stretch here.
Daniel Jones is 1-13 straight up at night in his career.
Great. Correlation without causation. I mean, the causation there is he's got a shit team around him.
Yep.
Right. And he's a question. I do kind of wonder, like, if Dallas went down in flames tonight, first of all.
Oh my.
I think we would. I think, based on what the numbers are today, we would do well. This might be one of the few times where having the favorite in the primetime game will be on the dog rather than the favorite. Okay. But it would just be, God, setting aside, you know, my day-to-day business, I would probably coat myself in fucking chocolate and down the fucking street. Like, Dallas is like the 3 lot. I mean, this is fucking great.
Well, they play Pittsburgh and Detroit the next 2 games.
Yeah, so it's not getting any easier.
So if they lose tonight, they fall to 1-3 tonight. There's a darn good chance they go to 1-5, and the bye's in week 7.
Parsons by midseason in a trade.
Well, Mike McCarthy in week 7 may not be around in week 8.
Yeah.
Wow.
So that's the rumor mill is that Mike McCarthy has to win this game tonight, because if he doesn't, the next 2 could be losses, and then he may be done.
You know, the funny thing is I was so surprised he kept his job after last season, you know. But when your general manager is Jerry Jones, you know, what was a few weeks back, he was saying, like, oh, I'd never consider hiring a general manager because nobody could do the job as well as me. I was up there on Sports Betting Tour. I'm like, I am all in favor of Jerry being GM for life. Don't you let anybody quit. It's your team, Jerry. You stay there, you know.
Stay.
Last question for me, Joe. Bigger handle, like tonight, Dallas and the Giants, or Saturday, Georgia and Alabama? Because I cannot wait to watch Georgia, Alabama. It's in that sweet spot, Saturday p.m., 7:30 Eastern, 4:30 Pacific. Talk about it all week. Everybody got an opinion about it. Who gives a crap about the Dallas Cowboys and the New York Giants tonight? Standalone game.
Yeah. My expectation is pregame. The pregame handle on Georgia, Alabama is going to be bigger than the pregame on Dallas, New York here tonight.
Wow.
But in-game that's the great thing. It's like, you know, so you really do see that. I see it. We see it less on college Saturdays, but more so during NFL games where it's incredible. You know, you start the game off, you're like, all right, well, we need the favorite and the under, and next thing you know,
flips.
It's like, you like get to the end of the game, you're like, look at that, with the favorite one, and we're the state. Yeah. And then Adam's telling me, like, well, you know, the in-game kind of killed us because suddenly we shifted to needing the dog and the under. I'm like, fuck, shut these guys off, right? God.
It's a battle. I did it every day for years. It's hard, that in-game. You don't even tell the guy. What do you need? Just tell me I see what we need before. Do you want to need the same side or not? Because we got to flip it if we don't. Oh,
Yeah.
it's brutal.
We'll get you out here on this. We've talked about this, but Friday night Big Ten football. Last week it was Nebraska in their big game at home in which they lost to Illinois. We've got a game on Friday night again here involving Big Ten teams.
Washington
Does Friday
Washington
Rutgers? I know you can't. I didn't say that because I know you can't bet it in New Jersey, so I didn't want to say the game.
But you can say it. I mean, if anything, it'll help us make the case. Like, hey, we should really change that law.
Okay, yeah, because you can't take it. You can't. But in Ohio or even Jersey, normally when they can bet it, because Rutgers is not playing every night. Does Friday night college football do any handle with you guys, given the two states you're in, which are big college football betting states?
Yeah, only with the pros, not with the Joes. So it's like, I mean, again, it might be one of those like, hey, it's Friday, let's get to Saturday.
Okay.
And then Saturday we might be the only sports book that's like, thank God Sunday's here. It gets easier.
Wow.
True.
Yeah. Unbelievable. Joe, thank you for being here. We love the conversation. It's always incredibly educational for us and our audience. Thank you for being here.
Great job, Joe.
Gentlemen, thank you very much.
We'll talk next week on a Prime Time Thursday, brought to you by Prime Sports. That's Joe Brennan joining us every Thursday. Either him or Adam Bjorn going with us here on BVB. Great to get him on the show. And you guys don't know Joe's background, that you really should go ahead and Google his history, because the guy, I mean, if you like sports betting, Joe had a massive amount of influence on how we got here with him and Chris Christie and fighting in New Jersey and getting the state to pay attention and lobbying Christie to go ahead and do it. And I mean, we can pick up from there, because I think it is a wild thing that was said yesterday with FanDuel saying that the mature sports betting market is $63 billion in handle. Again, we've asked this question before, where do the numbers come from like this? But does it seem logical that that's what we might be looking at? Less? More? He said 300 billion.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a number whatever you want. Nobody knows the real number. And again, there's the betting on credit thing will never be quantified correctly.
Yeah, true. It's impossible.
You know? But I mean, I can tell you this: in 1997, when I was down in Curacao, we were handling $1 million a day out of an office. It was as big as
all U.S. market betting or anything else.
No, it was worldwide.
So it wasn't all U.S.
Anybody could bet.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it was U.S. I mean, Canada, Mexico, Central America. We had people calling, speaking Spanish. I mean, it was wherever they found the number.
Right.
They called and bet. And so, I mean, just a little office like that was doing close to $500 million in handle. $500 million in a little office on the phones only. So no internet, none of that stuff. I mean, it was big. So, and that was 27 years ago. It's 2024. That's 27 years ago. Man, I'm getting old. That's crazy. That is crazy.
Let's go back to baseball. The Mets travel is going to be a nightmare. So the Mets are looking at having to play a doubleheader on Monday against the Braves. Their travel could look like this. They went to Atlanta, where they played one game. They've now traveled to Milwaukee, where they're going to play the series to end the regular season. They must travel back to Atlanta to play a doubleheader on Monday, and then potentially go to LA or San Diego for the opening of a wild card series.
You think they packed enough clothes?
Did they pack enough anything? Like anything? Forget just anything.
I mean, that's a 3-day
anything?
weekend, then a 2-day, then a day trip, and then another could be 3-day weekend. So that's I guess they've packed for 10 days before. That's a 10-day roadie if it all comes together.
I mean, in case you guys don't realize what's going on in the southern region of the country, like this is going on. There is a severe Hurricane Helene is coming through. It's about 200 miles off the coast of Florida now. It's going to have 20-foot storm surges into the Gulf region, the panhandle of Florida. It's going to get absolutely walloped. And then right up into Atlanta, they're going to be dealing with 70-mile-per-hour winds and massive flooding from this hurricane. And so now, and the tweets on the right were from yesterday, but look to the left and you'll see on your screen left, look to see what is going on here for the hurricane and why they put the game to Monday. Do you think the criticism of Major League Baseball was fair, though? Because there are some people that are saying that they should have played baseball on an off day on Monday. They should have moved it around. They should have been more proactive with this, because the Mets were, I mean, and the Braves too. If they make it, both teams could be at a massive disadvantage.
They are going to be at a disadvantage, but I don't know what they were supposed to do. People like to criticize everything. I don't even listen to it. I mean, there's
look.
what?
I mean, there's people who are really mad at the commissioner, though.
Yeah,
Dave. I mean, they're mad.
Oh, they're mad at the commissioner all the time. I don't know if that's.
They could have been proactive. I mean, in the defense of those people who are mad, Major League Baseball has been reactionary to this, not proactive to this. So that's been problematic. People have been angry about the fact that they could have done a lot more to get these games in to avoid playing game 163, if you will, on the Monday that's supposed to be an off day.
Well, I mean, depending on the results, they may not have to play it.
But don't you have to technically play it for Major League Baseball just for the integrity of the game?
No.
Can you blow out and say we're not playing, only playing 161, 160 games, not 162?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it doesn't change anything, right? It's like a rain out. It got rained out. We're not making a game up.
Okay. You always make the game up, though.
Yeah,
it's rare not to make the game up. Major League Baseball. It's a rarity.
I don't know. There were a lot of times where teams had one or two games not played out of the 162. They would finish with 160 because I mean we had to always watch that for props and for season long.
What happens with props for the teams that are at 160? Voided?
160 is good. It's in the house.
Okay.
Well, every book that I ever worked at, 160 had to be played.
Okay.
If they played 159,
gone.
It voided everything. And there was a couple seasons where teams had rainouts multiple times, snow outs. Remember Colorado games, in April, they got snowed out, first 3 game series.
Right.
Never made them up.
Never went back.
Yeah, they had 65 wins.
Because they're terrible. Right.
To any of the teams. So,
see, I mean, the Juice says it's on the schedule. Got to play it.
Oh, I get it. The Juice. You're right. I want to welcome Sherrod Carter. He's here from Brooklyn.
Hi.
Covey just popped in from South Carolina. He's safe. Everything's good there. King of Car Seats is holding it down in Minnesota. The Twins won, so he's still happy. That's good.
So in a wild card, 4 teams, 3 spots. Atlanta and Arizona are tied with 71 losses, but AZ's got 2 games to play. Hard to see, unless the D-backs completely fall apart, that the games on Monday are not going to be played.
Right.
They're going to matter because the Diamondbacks are clearly watching what's going on with the Braves.
So the Diamondbacks got the Padres down in Arizona. And the Padres, I mean, the teams are playing each other now. I mean, it's going to be all meaningful. I mean, Atlanta's playing Kansas City, though.
Yep.
So it's meaningful for both teams. It's weird. What a weird matchup.
I hate interleague in the last weekend of the regular season. I hate it. It should not happen. You should not be playing interleague baseball in the final series.
Man.
You should play at least American League teams. I mean, like National League plays National League, American League plays American League. Like that, at the very minimum, you should be playing divisional games in the final weekend.
Right.
So at the very least, you're playing a team in your division. Playing a team in the National League when you're an American League team, I'm not a fan of that at all. No.
Yeah, not at all.
So don't like it.
Did you said they don't cancel game 82 in the NBA just because a team clinched? They don't cancel games, the Juice, in the NBA.
Ever.
They play indoors.
Which team's getting left out? You have 4 teams heading to the weekend.
I think Arizona's in real danger.
I agree. It sucks, but
I think they're in real danger.
They are.
I don't know if they have to do 2. Like if they have to win 2, they can't get swept. They get swept by San Diego. Bye-bye.
Over. That's one way it doesn't matter for the Braves is if Diamondbacks and then maybe they play one game and they play a single game, then a double header, and they clinch it and then we're done. Like the Braves win and the Braves clinch. So we'll see how it all plays out, but it's pretty wild to see what's going to happen here over the next couple of days.
Imagine the doubleheader where the one game is played and now the outcome is determined. Like they still make them play the second game because they're there. Like that would be the most odd thing. And Major League Baseball better have a contingency plan for that because if the Mets and the Braves play a game, they're both in the playoffs.
They
both got to go somewhere.
So you want to get them out. Just cancel it.
Right. Just
cancel
the game.
Yeah.
Don't make them play the game.
Yeah, I agree. You cancel it. Make them go.
Even with the minor leaguers. Like,
just get on a plane and go.
Just go out to West Coast or up to Milwaukee or wherever you got to go. Excuse me, and play.
Yeah.
I mean, crazy.
American League is 5 teams, 3 spots. Tigers, 74 losses. Royals, 74 losses. Twins, 76 losses. Who is not making it? Orioles are making it. But then there's a big question after that for the American League.
What's the question? The Tigers are making it, baby.
They are?
Tigers are in.
Tigers are in.
Tigers are going to make it. Been saying it for a week and a half. I still believe it. Tigers are making it.
Royals 74 losses, Tigers 74 losses, Twins 76 losses, Mariners 77 losses. Those are the teams that are still available to be into the playoffs. The Orioles have clinched. So Royals, Tigers?
Excuse me. Thank you, JC from KC. Yeah, I'm rooting for the Royals to be the one. Nothing personal, Minnesota guys. I just don't think it's meant
All
to
3
be.
stink. All 3 teams stink.
Detroit does not stink.
They do. They're going to get crushed. It's not going to get the playoffs. They're going to get crushed. Fade. Fast fade. Royals fast fade. Twins fast fade. Whoever on this screen makes the playoffs is out in quick 2 games. Goodbye. Bye-bye.
Really?
Thanks for coming. Good night. Scooball maybe, but maybe the Scooball wins a game, but 2-1 loss from Scooball is very possible.
Wow.
They can't score. They can't score.
They pitch pretty good.
Royals have no offense. None. Twins are just bad. Tigers are put together with duct tape. Like they just try to get to the playoffs. They're going to get in and they're going to get crushed. They got one pitcher to talk about. One.
I don't know. It's gonna be so good. This last weekend is gonna be great. I got to go on and do this pregame show tonight and talk about this football game, and I want to watch the baseball. I don't know.
You know how big of a minority you are in America. You want to watch these teams, the Tigers, Royals, and Twins, over the Cowboys and the Giants.
I told you, I just want to try to figure out if one of them can beat. If the Tigers play the Astros, you don't think they can beat them in a 3-game series?
No, I don't. No, I do not. No, I think it's open and shut. Good night. Good morning. Good night. It's quick.
And you don't think the other team that makes it could beat the Orioles?
No. I mean, the Orioles are more vulnerable than the Astros are. Yeah. But I don't think that I don't like either one of any of these 3 teams. I don't like. I don't think the Orioles have got experience from last year. I like the Orioles' chances of potentially even getting to the World Series. It's just, I can't stand that bullpen. I just don't trust the Orioles bullpen.
Yeah.
I wish I could, but they have
coming alive this week. I mean,
they've had so many injuries in that bullpen. I mean, it stinks for them, but
so here's D Stout 19, a Twins fan, a guy from Minnesota. And he loves his teams. Driving around on a track.
But it's Lucy with the football too much.
Just typed in the chat, I hope the Twins don't make it. I don't want false hope. How many times have you been beaten down by false hope if you're actually in that realm right now?
Wild, huh? The White Sox won a game last night. They still have 120 losses. Did the record get set today against the Angels?
Yeah, they'll lose today. I'm rooting for them to lose. The fans are booing. They're
when they win.
Yeah, they're booing.
They want the record.
Yeah.
Anderson against Chris Flexen, who has, if you haven't been following Chris Flexen, his game log is unbelievable.
Incredible.
So in the month of September, somehow the team has won 2 games he has started. But before that, they lost 20 straight starts.
Yeah.
By Chris Flexen. They lost 6-2 in his last start on the road against San Diego.
September baseball betting is hilarious because, like, you look at this game and you have Angels at White Sox and you have the Angels minus 130. Like, in what realm are we in?
Because they're 31-49 on the road, and yet they're favored.
And they're minus 130. And then you scroll down a little bit and you see, like, Musgrove and Bueller in the National League. You see Baltimore and Yankees, Burns and Cole, like good games. And then this caca, just crap.
As predicted, the Red Sox blew it last night. They lose. They're out of the playoffs. Alex Cora, after the game, when he was asked about the second half and how the team performed out of the All-Star break, he said, quote, "We blew it." And I would agree. They did blow it because they had a shot. They started really well. Yeah. And then they came out of the All-Star break and they couldn't get anybody out. and their pitching went to crap. Their offense went silent, and they're going to miss the playoffs by 3 or 4 games here. They very well might wind up with an 81 type of record. They're 80-79 at the moment, which again I thought they'd win 80 games, and they've won 80. And let's see if they win a couple of more. But there is optimism for next year for the Red Sox. But I think Alex Cora is completely right. He signed the extension, which was my big concern as to whether or not he was coming back next year. They're coming back next year. And you're absolutely right. Going 3-3 against the White Sox didn't help CBW. did not help at all.
Was it CBW that put it in that the Twins went 12-1 against the White Sox?
They sucked, and they're way under 500 against everybody else.
So that would be, they would be under 500.
Yep. They destroyed the White Sox, and they did not beat anybody else. Twins aren't a good baseball team. The Twins are just
knew
inflated.
You had to beat the White Sox almost every time you played them to get into the playoffs. Like, that's just so, I mean, again, they're the worst team in baseball history.
Yeah.
And again, we thank Josie Myers for following along that all summer. But
so this hat you're wearing,
it went over the season win total, right?
Oh, yeah.
The Red Sox. So you're good there.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You went 4-1.
Way over.
Okay.
It was 77.5, 78.5, depending on the book. They have 80. They have 80 wins. Way over.
Holy crap. The Royals the same 12-1 against the White Sox.
So that's why, again, no, they're not good.
That's not helping your case, JC, for KC.
They're both getting bounced. Tigers too, all getting bounced fast in the playoffs. But would you fire this employee? You're wearing the A's stuff.
Yeah.
A's are playing their last home game ever at the Coliseum.
Yes,
allegedly tonight. This employee put up his employee discount on social media and told fans to have at it. That's a real QR code. Enjoy 30% off food and beverage when you use your A's employee discount code.
I don't blame him.
You fire him for this?
Fire him. It's over. What are you talking about?
Well,
job is done.
You might be able to go with the team to Sacramento.
What are you talking about? What are you gonna go? You're gonna go be a hot dog vendor or something in Sacramento?
No, he works for the team. That's an employee. Team employee. Works for the team. So he can go with the team. The team's going to he goes with the team.
What does he do?
I don't know. We don't know what he does. We just know he was an employee. He's an employee. He put that up.
Well, yeah, that's probably the basic employee discount, 30%. So he ain't going.
Probably not.
What do you mean you fire him? Yeah. Fire that guy. I mean, what's the answer to that question? Do you
how many
fire
fans?
him?
No, but how many fans use that? I want to know.
They all did. If you're watching the show now and you're going to the A's game in a little while, get it off of us. That's great.
Get the QR code.
At 12:30 Pacific. It's in 2 hours from now. I mean, I'm going to watch it this afternoon.
Do you think it's cool that they're stealing seats, they're ripping seats out and whatnot?
Listen, I was there this summer.
Yeah.
And I went up, and I swear, and I went up with Justin, and Justin's been going to those games, and he's a fan of the A's. Like, and I mean, they do business with them. So he had the perfect seats.
Yep.
And I kept saying to him, this doesn't feel right. They stripped the signage out of all of it.
Yeah.
You know, the building that the Warriors used to play is right in the same parking lot, and it's empty.
Yep.
Like, as far as the sports, I mean, I guess they do concerts and stuff there, but it should be, I don't know. I mean, we've talked to Morency about being at the last game the Expos ever played.
Okay.
And he said it was like depressing.
Oh, of course. There's no way that's not, if you're a fan, it's a funeral.
That's right.
That's it. This is not celebratory. There's nothing happy about this. You lost your team. Your team is leaving to go play in Sacramento for maybe 3 seasons, maybe 1, maybe 2. Who knows? We'll see that's an hour and a half away to the west from the Bay Area to go watch Sacramento if you want to watch your A's team play. And then they're going to Vegas at some point, allegedly, in the next 3 years. Your team's gone. You lost the Raiders to Vegas and Los Angeles, and now you're losing your baseball team for 57 years.
I'm glad I went. I wish I would have gone a couple more times, and I wish I would have taken the kids. but it has to be so weird to work there. Like, I mean, we met a woman who's been like a ticket taker for like 27 years.
Wow.
And she was like, she was one of the most happy people. And I went to a day game against the Pirates on a Wednesday. There was less than 2,000 people in the stadium. And she couldn't wait to, like, you know, have us go to her through her turnstile. And like, she was excited still to be there. And I was like, Justin, remember what it's like to be like this, always in the face of adversity and where everybody can take your enthusiasm. She loves being here and she loves her job and she loves this team, and it's gone. So do I blame people for ripping this stuff out? No.
Yeah, it's good. Today's going to be careful today if you're going to the game. It sounds like people are going there with like tools and stuff to take stuff out. So they're going to really do a lot.
I mean, we took the BART like over, you know, because I went for the airport. Like, do you just like bring the seats on the BART?
Yes. I know people ripping it out before, but I think if you're somebody who has spent the better part of, I don't know, say you've been a ticket holder watching the A's baseball for 20 years, and those have been your seats. Like, you're going with like a bolt cutter and you're cutting that thing out today. Like, that's my seat. I watched bad baseball for 20 years. Give me the seat. It's mine.
I'm going to reach out to Tyke and see if we can get Tyke on, because, you know, Tyke's seen, I don't know how many baseball games there.
Yeah, be careful though. It's a sellout. Jim's right. It's a sellout, and it's going to be crazy. And they jacked the prices up because it was the average ticket price to go to an A's game is about $13. It's $65 today.
Oh,
to go to the game, and that pissed off people bad for it. Pissed them off. They're like, "Oh, so now you jack ticket prices up?" Typical John Fisher. Even on the last day, the last moment, the miser, the Scrooge continues to just stick it to the fans.
I'm glad I got all the gear that I did. I got so much A's gear because it was very
give it to you discounted. Beg you to wear it.
It was super discounted.
You think?
Yeah, it was.
To college football we go. UNLV, we talked about them yesterday, but UNLV and the Air Force are both expected to remain in the Mountain West Conference. Joe Arrigo was absolutely on this yesterday when he told us that UNLV had a $30 million $20 million deficit that they were trying to overcome for the athletic department. Well, they got it. They got $30 million. UNLV has decided to remain in the Mountain West Conference with Air Force for a $30 million signing bonus from the Mountain West Conference. That's 5 times what they get for the media rights per year from the Mountain West Conference.
It's incredible.
You okay with them staying in the Mountain West?
No.
I'm not either.
It stinks. It stinks. I don't like it at all.
Nope. But it's a money grab because they weren't going to get the money. They couldn't afford to
get the money.
They should have gone to the Pac-12. And I was texting with somebody earlier this morning about it, and they said, right now, like just right now, because if the Mountain West falls apart, they still have to get an 8th member.
8th team, right?
If they can't get that 8th team, it falls apart.
Right.
So they get the money now, and in 2026, they get the money, they pay off their deficit, and if they can't get that 8th team to show, it's not their fault. UNLV is like, hey, we did our part. Part, and we got our money. And then they go to the Pac-12 after that.
Right.
So Pac-12 is not dead. It's just not right now.
I understand the move, but it feels like there's been a trajectory up. This just like the last 24 hours, that story was on every show. Was all over the place talking about it. There's a lot of people talking about it that weren't talking about it with as much authority and knowledge as Joe was. I'll tell you that. I mean, it was a hell of an interview yesterday. If you guys haven't seen it, go back and watch. Friend of the show, Joe Arrigo, talking about what really was going on. Things. I thought it was great.
He was great. No, Joe.
Is there a future for the Mountain West in your opinion?
Yes.
You think so?
Yeah, basketball wise for sure. Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know.
Remember, the American Conference is going to stick around. So you've got that level. Conference USA is still sticking around. Like you've got that level. And so the Mountain West Conference will be on that level. It's not going to be a Power 5 or Power 4. It's not going to, it's barely going to be an FBS conference, but it's going to have football. It's going to be a very good basketball conference, but they're going to lose, obviously, Boise and Fresno, and you're losing a lot of schools that you have been competing with for a while. So UNLV becomes the big fish. Air Force becomes the big fish of the conference. They're stuck with Nevada, so they're staying with their state mate in UNR for now. And I again, if they can't find that eighth member, then this whole thing falls apart.
Right.
So they get the money. Like it's, but if you're Barry Odom, do you stay? Even with $3 million a year, do you stay? You're the highest paid coach by far now in the Mountain West Conference.
That's a tough ask. Only he knows.
So he may get, I mean, if they win on Saturday, which I am believing more and more that they're going to, and then they are able to, weather this storm, and there's a lot of attention on UNLV right now. So if they win and then they beat Syracuse and they're 5-0,
right,
and they go to the Mountain West Conference and they got a chance to do, a lot in conference this year, you got to wonder about Barry Odom. You got to wonder how long he's going to stick around, because some big boy's going to come in and there's no way UNLV can afford to compete with them.
Right.
Somebody of a big four type of dollar, and somebody of the ilk of like a Purdue or something like that who wants to come in and take Barry Odom. So hopefully he sticks, but thinking less and less that's going to happen. All right, Cowboys tonight, laying 5 against the Giants. The total is 45. It's 5.5 at certain books now, right? There was a move that came this morning.
Let me double check. Hit refresh. There's still half 5.5s, half 5s.
Okay. So we're there.
45 is painted for a total. For those of you that don't know what that means it's
when you see 5.5 discrepancy here, what does that tell you? Books don't know?
No, it's the Dallas and the New York money. It's different.
Okay.
I think that, let me see, double check back East books. Oh, it's 5.5 in the desert, and 5.5 down south, 5 back east. And Circa's at 5. That's so just playing around with the number. I don't think there's anything to discertain from that.
Okay. Is the Dallas D this bad? They're 30th in points given up.
Yes.
They're 28th in yards per game.
Yes.
They're 29th in yards per rush, and they're 30th in rushing yards per game. You think they're that bad?
I do.
I don't. I think this is just a bad
only
start.
because it's rushing yards.
It's just points. 30th in points given up.
That I'm not concerned about. It's
okay.
It's in the yards per game, not so much concerned about it. It's the yards per rush, and then the rushing yards per game thing.
Yeah, I think they sell out tonight to stop the run.
Yeah, they better.
I think they're going to make Daniel Jones beat them. I think it's going to be somebody else but Daniel Jones to beat them tonight. I think they're going to say, we're not getting run on tonight. We're not going to have that happen. I mean, Zimmer's coaching for his life. I mean, that's before they fire Mike McCarthy, they're going to fire the defensive staff. Like that will be Mike McCarthy's way of saving his job, like for at least a couple of weeks. He's going to fire the defensive staff because they haven't been able to stop anybody. So I think tonight, given the Giants' offense and the Giants' inability to score, I mean, the Giants, they're 29th in points scored per game.
Right.
I don't know if Daniel Jones can move the football through the ground. I think he's going to have to throw tonight.
Why is the total 45?
Does that
total
make it
should
right?
be a lot lower.
Should be a lot lower.
Yeah. If the Giants can't score.
Dallas scores 30 on them.
Find myself leaning to the over.
I agree. I teased it, though.
Dallas down and over.
Giants
up. Wow.
Cowboys, though. I laid the 5. Cowboys by 7.
You're going for a middle?
Dak is really good ATS, and I don't think he wins by 10 points. I don't think he's going to kill. I'd be surprised if they blow the Giants out tonight.
Wow.
Giants will hang around. Game will go over, but I think it's a chance for somewhere a 7, 8, 9, 10-point win for the Cowboys tonight.
Huh.
Go from 5.5 up to 11.5. Take the total down from 45 to 39. Go over.
Wow. Okay.
No skill shot.
I'll say. Yeah, that is a real skill shot.
Create my own pregame medal. See if we can hit. But I think Cowboys win by 7. Yeah, it was 40. It was 40-0. That was last year, though. But Dak's really good against them. I mean, Dak is, I think he's 12-1. His last 13 games against the Giants.
Give the boys a pull.
Yeah, I agree. Zimmer gets his defense right tonight. I agree. This is a get-right spot for the Dallas defense. I agree.
Yeah. Dallas -5, Giants +5. Who covers? Give them something to vote on.
Okay.
I don't know. I think the Giants are going to have success passing the ball.
I would agree. Not running the ball.
Yeah, I think they're going to have success passing the ball.
I'm on Jones over passing yards tonight.
What's the number? 200?
199.
Still got it. The first number came in my head, 200. Wow. I don't know. What do you think that people are going to vote?
Probably Giants. I think a lot of people are down on the Cowboys. I think they like the Giants tonight, given the fact that this is not 6 or 6.5, but dogs have been barking so loudly in the NFL. I think everyone's natural inclination right now is to go ahead and bet the dog.
I think people are stubborn, and I think they are going to bet the favorite.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the wrong side. I don't think that's the wrong side, actually.
I'm inclined to say favorites. Last time I said this, I was dead wrong. But I'm inclined to say favorites are going to have a good week this week. Because I think the public's going to be all in on the dogs. They've been hearing nonstop dog. Most dog wins in the last 3 years, for week 3 in the last 50 years, 70 years since we've seen teams being dogs at 6.5, 7.5 points, winning outright. That's been the narrative's been all hammered. I think it flips this week, and we see road teams, we see favorites come through.
I don't know. I don't think there's going to be a specific narrative. I just think there's going to be a couple games that are gigantic handles, and I think there's going to be a lot of I don't know. Saints Falcons, I don't know. Steelers Colts.
I think that might have a big handle. Saints Falcons, I think they have a big handle.
You think?
People have been making money on the Saints like it's going out of style. Saints are tremendous.
The game against the Eagles put all doubt in everybody's mind with the Saints. So, and the Falcons are still trying to figure out after 2 national TV games, whatever, what they trying to figure out who they are.
Right.
I don't know. They go and win the game in Philly and then lose the game against the Chiefs when they should have won. So I don't think that one will do much. Jags and Texans. I mean, who knows? But
Houston's gonna lose that game. Houston's gonna lose that game to the Jaguars.
Outright?
The Jaguars. They're going to lose that game.
Rams and Bears will probably do a monster handle. Eagles and Bucks, I don't know. Commanders and Cardinals, I think will, surprisingly.
Oh, I agree. Yeah. After Jaden Daniels, oh, yeah.
Patriots and Niners, the line's too big.
No one's touching that. That's a line through game.
Browns and Raiders.
Although everyone's going to tease the Niners down.
Correct.
That's a teaser special.
What are the early votes so far? Wow. Dallas, 70%.
Do you think there's something wrong with Travis Kelce? 8 catches, 69 yards in 3 games. Chiefs are undefeated.
No. I mean, other than getting old and getting, I don't know if the Chiefs are using him as a decoy more or teams are taking him away.
Do you care about body language or no?
Body language isn't good.
I mean, he looks miserable. It
does not look
miserable.
Good.
So I'm watching Good Morning America this morning because Amanda has it on. I never watch Good Morning America. Do you know he's making his acting debut in a Netflix special?
Yeah.
What is he doing? I was like, he's doing what?
He's working on his post career.
Yeah, that already started. His post career already started.
Yeah.
His post career, he's gone. He's mentally gone. He's somewhere else. Like you know what? You know what an asshat? JC, he was right. Everything Todd McShay is right. I agree with everything Todd McShay said about Kelce. He's out of shape. He's completely out of shape. I think it's an absolutely fine thing to point out that he was all over the globe doing all sorts of things. while other guys were in the weight room, he was rehearsing lines for a new Netflix show. Like, I'm not knocking it, okay? He made money.
You got to know your lines. If you're going to be in Netflix, you got to know your lines.
He's exhausted. He's out of shape. He's exhausted. He's not getting open. Teams, and I agree with Todd McShay, teams are game planning for Travis Kelce, and they're taking Travis Kelce away like he's the old Travis Kelce. And then they're realizing he ain't the same Travis Kelce. This ain't the same dude that we saw a while ago. So I don't know. I think this is a really interesting thing to watch because I think he wants to win. And that's what Mahomes said. Kelce wants to win. And I think as long as they're 3-0, I don't think Kelce cares. But he looks unhappy. I mean, look, he was gallivanting around with the most famous woman in the world for months. Like, you want to get your head bashed in by a 400-pound lineman, or do you want to go to Europe and go hang out with Taylor on a yacht? It makes total sense why he's not there.
He misses her?
I think he misses everything. His brother retired. I think he sees his brother doing what his brother's doing. He's on TV, dancing before Eagles games, having a blast. His girl is finishing up her world tour in December. She'll be done. He knows that she'll be done. And I've said it before. I think Taylor disappears. I think Travis is going to disappear with her. And we're not going to see those people for a couple of years. And I don't know. I think for the Chiefs to win it all, they need Travis Kelce to be in shape and to be focused. I don't see it coming. I don't see it coming.
I don't know. Little quick to make, all encompassing judgments, but he has not been a part of the offense very much. And I mean, I notice it just from when we're watching the game. I told you the other day when Jess said, "Is Kelce playing?"
Right. Like, where is he?
Like he doesn't catch the ball anymore. And they're not throwing him the ball, Jess. He's not even open. Targeted.
And look, he could play his way into shape. I'll give that to you, Jason. But in the NFL, it's not really all that common to play your way anymore. That was like the 1970s NFL, where you'd play your way into shape. Don't normally do that here in 2024. You don't play your way into shape, but it is possible. You can do that, but not normal. The Chiefs are laying 2 at Indy. We go into 3 here for a road favorite for the Steelers.
No,
2.5 will be the top.
It's already gone. All the 2.5s are by. It's all 1.5 now. Yeah.
Oh,
there's only 1-2 left. Yeah. So
Thursday move.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I'm not encouraged this week. I've been so in love with the Steelers every week and saying they're going to win. I'm not sure. I just don't. I think the game goes under again.
Fair. Both offenses haven't looked good.
I don't know how
Richardson can't hit the broadside of a barn.
I don't know how they're gonna. Yeah,
that ball just goes like he throws it, and he doesn't know where that thing's going. Like he has a cannon, but he has no idea where it's going.
Steelers should win.
They should.
They should win. But you can't go to 3 on a game.
Okay. Chicago's down to 3 at home against the Rams. Is this an indictment on Caleb after what he's looked like his first couple of weeks? Rams have nobody. yet they beat the Niners.
Right.
At home.
Yeah. I went on BetQL yesterday with Joe O and Sammy P, and Joe O is a Chicago guy. I mean, and he was just like, how are the Bears favored? He kept saying it like it was wrong. It's so fun to talk to people from different parts of the country and hear that. What would be a fair line with this? I mean, you can't pick them.
Let the bettors bet it. Tell you who should be favored.
I think they'd bet the Bears in this spot.
Okay, they're betting the Rams right now.
Well, it's sitting. I don't know. All the 3 even monies are gone, so it's 3 flat. I think books will be fine with a decision on either side here. Okay. This is one of the coin flip games of the week.
I would agree. The other one is this one. Browns at Vegas. 1.5 for the Raiders. You feel comfortable backing the Raiders laying points at home?
Nope.
I don't at all. And the Browns stink, but like again, I'm on the under for the Raiders win total because I think the Raiders are a train wreck. And Gardner Minshew so far has played like a train wreck. Yes, they beat the Ravens, but that game should have been a loss. So I'm gonna die on that hill. That game was not a win that was a refereed in enhanced victory for the Raiders.
I've been hard on the Cleveland Brown fans in here, but we got a Cleveland Brown hat made. If you guys want it, again, text the text line 702-570-8255. I got to get one made for the Shrew. He's a Browns guy. I think I might wear it this week. I think the Browns are going to win.
I think you're right.
I first thought I'm going to sleep on it tonight and have a better feel for it tomorrow, but this don't feel right for the Raiders.
Yeah, and just the comments that Pierce made after the game about business decisions when a coach is threatening his own team in the media, that ain't good. Saying Gardner Minshew's our guy, standing on a table for Minshew. I don't know if AOC can throw the ball or not, but I think he can play better than Minshew can right now. Minshew without Shane Steichen has been a disaster. He was great in Indy. He was great with Shane Steichen, but not so much with the Raiders.
I just think that again, when you're not sure, you got to find like one thing or something to, if you're building a model or using rhythm or whatever you're doing, like you find the one thing that you key on. When I look at these coin flip games, I go, who's the best unit on the field? Who's the best unit on the field in this?
Browns defense, I guess.
It ain't even close.
I guess.
That's it. It's the Browns defense.
Okay. So what we need Jason Garrett to have 2 pick sixes, strip sack, fumble, recover for a
touchdown. I don't know. I mean, the total in this thing is 37. 37. I don't think they get to that. I mean, it was 39 initially, but now it's 37.
Right.
So
Miles Garrett. I said Jason Garrett,
know.
Miles Garrett. Sorry. I think I said Jason Garrett, Miles Garrett.
Jason Garrett, Miles Garrett. A little bit different.
A little bit different guys. The Ravens are up to 2.5 at home against Buffalo. Bill's going to pull the upset here. Primetime game.
Oh, bam. As a Steeler guy, I hope so. This will really put back the Ravens' shot at winning the division.
I like the Ravens in primetime at home.
First thought is Bills for me. No decision made yet.
Okay.
Wouldn't use this game in a contest, I'll tell you that. Very difficult game.
Yeah. Flip a coin in a lot of ways. Yeah. But I like the Ravens at home here. They gotta win. They go 1-3. Nope. Not with you guys at 3-0. That's really bad news. So
Tyler Wyatt.
I don't mind the over
in the game.
I agree. I like that. I like the over in the game too. I think we'll see offense. Ravens defense has not been great to start the season. To college, number 6, it's odd to say that. Number 6, Ole Miss, is laying 17.5 against Kentucky. The Rebels are 11-1 to win it all. And Jackson Dart is 5-1 to win the Heisman. He's the second choice behind the quarterback, Cam Ward, for Miami. You want to lay this many points for Ole Miss here in an SEC game?
Is that on the road?
It's at home.
Is Kentucky coming off that bad loss or that tough loss?
Correct. To Georgia.
Good game, tough loss.
Yeah, to Georgia.
This
Why? Tyler said he made it 23. Sorry, 21.3.
Yeah, this is blowout. I'm with Tyler.
Ole Miss kills him?
I think so. That's first thought. I hadn't even looked at this game.
Good game for Jackson Dart to put up some stats too, because you can say that Georgia didn't move the football, but Ole Miss did. So a chance to kind of pad that off that. Oh, thank you, Tyler. Yeah, they played Ohio last week. It was 2 weeks ago that was that game for Kentucky at home against Georgia.
Oh, okay.
It was 2 weeks ago for that.
All right.
Number 10, Utah. Again, odd to say that. Laying 11 against Arizona. This is a Big 12 game. Utah, Arizona. It's a Big 12 game.
I kind of wish UNLV went to the Big 12.
Maybe in the future that might be a possibility.
I feel like they're going to come out looking pretty good in all of this. The Big 12.
They'll be the number 3 option. Sure, they've always been the number 3 option. They'll be 3 for the rest of their existence.
Think it's those 3, and then such a drop off after that.
Except in college basketball. I mean, the ACC still will have college basketball, so I mean, it won't be.
Right.
It depends on the season. So. You have Duke, you have North Carolina, you got Virginia. You got powerhouse basketball programs in the ACC, but Big 12 is a good basketball. Big 12 is the best basketball conference in America. So 3 in football, 1 in basketball.
Right. Do you have a side here? I really don't.
No, this is
really don't.
This is about to be Utah or nothing for me, but no, I don't. How about fading Michigan at home against Minnesota? Letdown spot here, the lane 9 was 10.
Are you trying to pander to our Minnesota people?
Just asking. It feels like this is a letdown spot for Michigan. This is the same Michigan team that has not looked good.
Minnesota's not going to be able to score. What's their team total? 10? 11? It's got to be 10 or 11.
For their team total? No.
Maybe 13 and a half.
It's got to be higher than that.
The total's only 38 in a game.
Maybe it is that low.
Minnesota's defense is good, man.
Yeah, but Iowa put up 30 on them.
Michigan's defense is good.
Oh, okay. Michigan, yeah. Iowa put up 31 points on that defense.
Crap, it's 35 and a half in places. Minnesota, they'd be lucky to score 10 points. Their team total under.
Minnesota team total under.
Yeah, what is the team total?
Can't find the game.
38. It's down at the bottom.
There it is. Team total for Minnesota is 12 and a half.
Still got it.
22 and a half for Michigan.
24-10 is the final. That's it.
USC is laying 15 and a half at home to Wisconsin.
This is going to be ugly.
How high does this number go? Because it's already up over. It was 14, 14 and a half, 15, 15 and a half. It's just climbing with people hammering USC. I agree, Cubby. Letdown spot for Michigan. I agree. That's a real possibility. I'm with you.
Yes, maybe offensively, but they're going to struggle. Minnesota's going to struggle to score. Wow. Oh, it's 14 and a half. So that was it.
It's down.
He's 14 and a half. Yeah. There's no more. That was the top.
Okay. I think USC houses them. I don't like Wisconsin.
How is Wisconsin going to score?
This is a bounce back spot for USC, in my opinion.
If Wisconsin even puts up 20, I'll be impressed.
Yeah, this is an absolute get right spot, in my opinion. Time for Better to Book It. All right, all bets.
Well, hold on. I just looked down and saw D Stout 19 said, "Don't kick a guy when he is down." I just feel so bad for minutes. Go Vikings! Please go Vikings!
Vikings are good. I don't know. I think the Gophers can do some damage there. I think the Gophers could actually put a scare into Michigan here after what happened with USC. There was so much talk about firing coaches and everything else, and they beat USC. Everyone thinks it's all good and good. I don't know about that. We'll see about Michigan and Minnesota in the Big Ten. I'm laying 5 with the Cowboys tonight. Better to book it.
I'll book it.
Giants.
Close game. We might get a dog cover, but lose the game. You might
dog
get your
cover
sweet spot in there,
but lose the game.
Yeah.
Well, then I cover that.
Yes.
Giants plus 11.5.
And again, with these same game teasers, you and this thing you're doing.
I'm 4-1.
I know. That's got to cover. If that don't cover, I'll be very surprised if that don't cover. What loses of those two things? The Giants don't stay within 11 and a half?
They get killed. Giants get killed. Yeah.
Wow.
Daniel Jones, those 2 picks.
Oh.
Game gets away from the Cowboys.
Right.
I mean, gets away from the Giants. They can't score. They can't move the ball. Because that's why
I'm over 39, even in a bad football game, right?
I agree. But that's why I'm on Daniel Jones over his passing and not yards. I think they could get blown out and they'd be behind and they're not going to run the ball.
Yeah.
I think game script dictates throwing the football, not running the football, throwing the football.
It's a different NFL. I mean, this is normally I would say bet this, but I'll say book it because it probably comes up just short.
Mm-hmm.
And he throws for 190.
Okay. And I think Dak throws all over the Giants defense. Over 236.5 for Dak. Both quarterbacks throw the ball. Game goes over.
I'll say bet this one.
Any love for Neighbors? No, I think Neighbors goes under.
Really?
Yeah, I think Neighbors goes under. I think everybody. I'm fading the public on all this stuff. I've heard so much.
What is Floodhouse doing in his avatar? What is he doing? Pull that back up real quick if you could.
Holding a kid.
Oh, nice. Okay. On a
bike
or what?
Bike, and it looks like a.
I don't know, Floodhouse. But that's a great picture. I just wanted to make sure I saw that. I just didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah, I'm on the under for Neighbors. It's under 72.5 receiving.
Reception's over for him.
Oh, okay. Dink and dunk, sure.
Catches a lot of passes, I think, tonight.
Possible.
First,
but I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm going with him on under for yardage. Him with that. If you guys are watching it live, stick around. Don't move. If you are watching on SiriusXM or listening or watching on Sports Grid, listening on SiriusXM, thank you for being here. Roll Call Friday is tomorrow, same place, same time. The rest of you get bonus time. First touchdown.
Whoa!
Don't hate it.
Okay.
Don't hate it. It's possible.
Okay.
But that means Dallas scores second, which I'm not so sure that's going to happen. I don't mind that, Roger. I think both teasers could hit to take Dallas down to +1. I don't like crossing 0, but I get your point with that. Under 50.5 could be good, but I don't know on that. I mean, I want to pull it down.
I think that's the danger side. There could be
fall 50.
Teams get in it right. They could 28, 24.
Right, 51, right there, right? 52,
somewhere in that neighborhood.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about doing that. I thought about it, and I said, you know what? I just feel more comfortable with offense being scored for both these teams in the game going over. So I'm going to pull it down and tease it for that. For tomorrow, for a Roll Call Friday, probably not CBW because I'm flying and I'm going to get home late. So my gut tells me is that I'm going to be probably dragging tomorrow. So maybe an 11 Pacific, 2 p.m. Eastern time start tomorrow for us. On Friday, just back to our normal 11 a.m. Pacific start time that we normally get rolling with. I've been on the East Coast and having to go do stuff here, so that's why we've been going. Dave's been nice enough to kind of get us done early. Like I'm going to the airport. Like it's 2:00 right now. I'm going to the airport in an hour, so like I'm leaving.
Pack it up.
I'm packing everything. I'm packing everything, going right to Logan, trying to beat rush hour traffic in Boston to get me down to the airport.
The only way we'll do it early tomorrow is if you end up staying
delayed, right? If I'm here, if I'm stuck,
but still on the East Coast.
Please no, because that means Amanda has to come back and get me all the way from Boston. That's a pain in the ass at rush hour to do that. So praying, get me on the plane so she doesn't have to do that and get me back to Vegas for tomorrow.
Right.
Favorite thing about today is what?
I think I'm still on a high from yesterday with Tyler and his mom.
Yeah, it's cool.
It was just a really good thing. And I'm going to post it. I clipped it and got it within the time frame of us. So I'm going to put it out. I was thinking about him and her this morning, and I was like, I still think that's my favorite thing about today. But my other favorite thing about today is that Pap had a surgery scheduled today, and I found out last night he's got something in his eyes. I don't know what it is specifically, but Jess stayed home from work today to drive to and from the surgery.
Okay.
So my favorite thing about today is that the house is empty and me and the wife are home in the afternoon.
There you go.
Just saying, getting loose, getting ready. Might be ding, ding.
Does Jess know that?
I didn't hear no bell. I'm just saying, might be time. Catch me tonight on Sports Grid if I'm smiling. We had a good afternoon here. I mean, it's a short fight. It's scheduled. It's a very short fight, most likely. But we'll see. It's not a title fight.
Ross, thank you. I appreciate your offer there. That's nice of you to do that. Favorite thing about today is just it's fun to get here and come back here and see family and see Amanda, see Brooks, and just and hang out and had a really nice trip here. This was fun. This was a quick 5-day, went very fast, but it's always fun to appreciate the trips and appreciate the ability to take the trips. And I miss my daughter, so I'm excited to go back and see my kid tomorrow. So Excited to see Madeline and do some fun things. Vegas in late September to October is my favorite time of the year. So I cannot wait to get back. And the weather is always really nice. It's fucking cold here, man. It's fucking cold. 60 degrees is cold. Like it's just cold.
Mid-90s here.
It's beautiful. Let's get me back
great.
to I'm gonna get off the airport and be like, oh, I'm back.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a warm hug. It's just give me back to the weather to Vegas.
Nice.
But it's fun to be outside. The pools are always really fun to be at. If I could golf, I can't golf, but I'm on these steroids. Hopefully I can get back to playing golf at some point. We're trying to address it. I'll send you a car seat in the spring. What do you mean, King car seats?
Don't you even say we can't do it no more. That's it. They took that stuff out.
Oh, for you.
For me. I need no more car seats, baby. We reached that point. I told you she had the things taken out. I'm good to go.
Freaking 60 raw, raining, and freaking wet. Yes, Ross, it's exactly what this is in New Hampshire and New England. It is raw, cold.
Zip up the jacket with that news.
Yes, that's what it is. Guys, Roll Call Friday tomorrow. It's going to be a lot of fun. Big show tomorrow. A lot of games to get into. Big show as always. Hope to see you all there. We can call out as many states as we can possibly do. If you guys are in, like Covey, if you're in the trek of that hurricane, we're thinking of you, okay? Be safe. Don't be dumb, okay? Don't drown, right? Turn around. That's the line everyone says in Vegas. Don't drown, turn around.
I do say that when it rains here 3 times a year.
Don't do that as well when you're in a hurricane zone, okay? Don't do that. That's bad. He is Dave. I'm Matt. Roll Call Friday tomorrow for BVB.
Ding, ding!